Winter arc. What the fuck is a winter arc? So I came across this stuff when I was in college. 3 months of intense focus towards your goals, towards your things that matters to you most, right? Although I tried many times to stick through this winter arc, to stick through my New Year's resolution, is to stick through these period and succeed, but I never actually did, or maybe I thought so. So winter arc is basically this three last months of the year: October, November, and December. These 3 months are where most of the people realize that they have wasted 9 months of their year. They haven't stick through their New Year's resolution. They haven't made significant progress in their goals and in their life. They are basically the same person they were at the start of this year. And if you're watching this, most probably you are in the same place too. Now you can take two routes from here. First, either you can tell yourself that, you have wasted 9 months of this year. Why not waste 3 more months doing whatever you want to and start fresh at the new year, set New Year's resolutions, set new goals, and start fresh? Or you can maybe lock in right now in these three modes. You can start not so perfectly. You can just start however you are right now. Just make significantly less progress, but actually make a little progress towards your goals. And at the start of the next year, you'll have a good head start. To be honest, if you realize the new year or the next or the first day of the month, the first special day of the year isn't something special. You don't become a totally different person at the start of the year. You're the same you, but just with some handful of motivation to go and achieve your goals. So the question is, why not start now? Why not begin it right now? Why not start today itself? See, the problem is most people, or the problem with us, is that at the start of the year, it's a new you. So you have a hell lot of motivation to achieve your goals or to work towards something that you want to. You know, you you'll finally work towards that fitness goal, you'll finally work towards that physique, you'll finally start something that you always wanted to. But in a week or so, you'll probably lose all that motivation. You'll be back to where you started. You'll fail, you'll make mistakes, and something will eventually come up that will take you off track from that perfect journey you always wanted, or like the perfect journey you envisioned yourself you're on. And once you're off track, once this happens, you'll realize, fuck, I'm back to square one. Now, just wait for another perfect start. Just let's start at the February 1. And eventually you'll realize you've wasted your February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. And eventually you'll again realize, fuck, I'm at the end of the year. Another year wasted. If you start now, however, this will be an imperfect start. This isn't that first perfect day of the year. So you'll start imperfect. You'll work towards it. You'll work towards your goals. You'll fail. You'll make mistakes. You'll get off track. You'll get on track. You'll start this imperfect journey. You'll get habituated to this journey of getting off, on track, and eventually you'll get habituated to it. Once you do, you'll build momentum through this, and the momentum is the most important thing to achieve anything. By doing these habits, by going through this, you'll do repetition. Repetition will eventually build momentum. Momentum will build consistency, and consistency will eventually bring you success. Doesn't matter whatever you are doing in life. So how the fuck do you get started? What do you actually do? Because if you have no idea, you'll probably follow the wishy-washy self-improvement advice for the winter arc, being the alpha or the sigma male, shaving off your fucking head and committing yourself to the winter arc. You don't have to do that. You don't have to shave your head off. Fuck no. You don't have to do that to get started in the winter arc. Sure, if it helps you mentally, if you think that shaving your head off will probably give you an image of yourself that attacks his goals and some shit, but if it's just because everyone else is doing it, doesn't mean you have to do something that works for you. You might know something that works for you. Maybe you can stick up the goals to your walls, maybe change the desk, maybe, edit your room somehow, or maybe move the things here and there to actually get that feeling that you are something different from what you were yesterday. And you get start at the end, you know yourself better. So choose something similar. Now, after that, you don't have to just do that thing. You'll have to follow three things. First is picking a fitness goal. Not getting a six pack within 3 months, or maybe, doing an Ironman within 3 months. That's not a realistic goal. You have to pick a goal that scares the shit out of you. You have to pick a goal that you think maybe, just maybe I won't be able to do it. But when you think, what if I pull that shit off? What if I do this? What if I achieve this? And if that sentence, that goal give you get chills, that's your fitness goal. Maybe it's, goal. Maybe you can pick a goal to run a half marathon, maybe a full marathon, or maybe you have a gym goals like benching X amount of weight or deadlifting Y amount of weight, or maybe, you know, to be able to do a stance in calisthenic that's on a pretty hard level. You can pick anything that gets you the chills, anything that gets you motivated. You can visualize yourself doing that. Visualize yourself completing that half marathon you always wanted to. Visualize yourself benching that one rep max you wanted to, deadlifting that one rep max. I would say the easiest option is to register for a marathon or a half marathon, because when you register for one, you have a deadline, you have an urgency to prepare for it. Because if you don't, you're gonna get fucked in the ass, because half marathon is no joke. And that's what I'm gonna do. I've already registered for a half marathon this December and gonna run it. So most probably you can do that as well. But if you don't want to, you're free to choose anything that you want. Second is pick a skill that interests you. Also subjective. You can choose anything here. Don't go for the wishy-washy advice of the self-improvement guru who tells you to start a fucking drop shipping business or some shit and make progress in it. Doesn't make sense. You have to choose a skill that interests you, something that you think you'll enjoy doing and you see your best version doing. It could be coding, it could be editing, it could be VFX, it could be, music, like learning some guitar or some drumming or some shit, or maybe even art. You can go for anything that you actually visualize yourself doing it. Like visualize yourself doing that skill, and you are impressing so many people around you. That is your skill. That is what you have to pick. Now make sure you choose only one skill, because in this winter arc is in this winter arc what we have to do is we have to double down on the skills. So it will be best if you choose one and double down into it, instead of choosing two or three and splitting your time and mental energy into three of them. So just pick one. Don't just pick. You'll have to implement it as well. If you chose like a guitar or drum, buy a guitar or buy a drum set and, sign up for a 3 months class. If you chose editing and VFX, maybe download a fucking software that is high level and it's used in your industry or some shit, like DaVinci Resolve for After Effects. You're free to choose and start watching tutorials, because they are free on the internet. You'll learn a lot of stuff from YouTube as well. Third, and this is important, improve your mental health. Mental health is as important as your physical health. I used to make fun of people who used to say, I have anxiety, I have depression. I used to think that they are just giving reasons, or they're just coping, that they don't have to do a certain thing. That's why they are just saying, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, and that kind of stuff. But when I personally felt how it is to be anxious, how it is having anxiety, when I personally experienced anxiety, I you've I realized mental health is also important. And I cured my anxiety with these three habits: meditation, gratitude, and journaling. These three are the top tier mental health habits. Will Now the word you have to remember is exponential. These habits are exponential in growth, exponential in returns. So that means you won't see results in the start of the habits. You won't ever see your results in 1 2 months when you're doing meditation and journaling. That's why most people say that meditation doesn't work for them. That is because they haven't done it for a considerable amount of time. And either that or they're just doing it wrong. Meditation is something that will help you in your life. That's why most of the Buddhist monks and most of the gurus do meditation. As I said, it's exponential. So you'll see zero to no results when you start them. If you're new to it, you'll see no results. But it's exponential. So as you go doing it, as you compound the habit, you'll see extraordinary returns in your mental health at the end. Like once you start it, you'll just see exponential returns on your mental health. Your mental health will improve. You'll be much happier in general. How to do them exactly? It's not that hard. You just set 10 minutes timer for meditation. You focus on your breath. You'll realize that you're not really focusing on your breath. That's the moment when you take that focus again and focus on your breath again. That's what you do in meditation. You repeatedly do that stuff. Eventually you'll realize for 10 minutes you are just focusing on your breath. And that makes you incredibly dangerous because it improves your focus. Second is journaling. Just write whatever happened throughout the day, whatever incidents happened to you, whatever thoughts you're thinking, maybe negative thoughts, maybe self-demeaning thoughts. You have to just write down it in your journal. Gratitude, just write 5 things throughout the day you are grateful for or grateful in life. Maybe you can write it on, you know, once you wake up, or maybe you can write it before sleep. Your choice, but that helps. Get this into your schedules and remember they are exponential in growth, so you need to have patience. Now, one important thing to realize is that once you start, you'll fail. You'll fail, you'll get off track, you'll get demotivated after a week or so. So you'll have temptations to go back and doing the normal life that you had to do. You'll have to realize that this is your normal life now. The best trick that you can use this is to foresee your failures. When you foresee your failures, what you are doing is decreasing the chances of actually failing. Prevention is always better than the cure. If you prevent something from happening, you don't have to cure it, do you? So foresee your failures. What will stop you? What will block you from continuing the journey? And eventually, foresee it. Try to, what do you say, avoid them, and try to be on the journey as much as you can. At the end of this year, you won't recognize yourself if you stick to this. Trust me. For an actionable step, you can write your fitness goal, you can write the skill you're going to pick up for this 3 months, and you can pick your mental health habits for this. Comment down below all these things so that you go and stick through your journey. So at the end of the year, when you revisit it, you'll think, sure, I've achieved the bottom. Subscribe and like for more such videos. And yeah, that is the things that I'll say. See you in the next one.